Hello, new security trainee, and welcome to Arkham Asylum. This tape will help you to learn everything you'll need to know while working with our patients. Here at Arkham Asylum, we strive for excellence in dealing with our patients, fellow employees, and yourself. Safety is our #1 concern, which is why we have 3 simple principles for you to follow. 1. Make sure you have your safety transceiver. It's extremely important to stay in touch with your fellow security guards and perform routine check-ins. Having each other's backs will help you to build fellowship and communication. 2. Avoid interaction with the patients. While you are there to keep the staff of Arkham Asylum safe and secure, leave the handling of our patients to qualified medical and psychological professionals. Wouldn't want any incidents to happen. 3.
This is Professor Hugo Strange, Warden of Arkham Asylum. I have been asked to review and collect numerous interviews and footage to compile them into instructional tapes for new staff here at Arkham. Upon Dr. Langstrom's admission here, I've seen both the potential and destruction wrought by his research. I must undertake experiments with it in order to remedy his condition. I hope that my work will help countless others, and will help to bolster my reputation, if my plans are ever to come to fruition.
Hello, and welcome to Arkham Asylum. The purpose of this tape is to prepare you for your role as a psychiatrist, and equip you with tools to help our patients here. As part of our psychiatry staff, you get to take part in the healing process of our patients. By doing this, you are helping our patients to slowly begin the process of re-entering society. Before you begin aiding in the rehabilitation of our patients, we find it very important to give you an idea of what kinds of patients you'll encounter.
Date is October 20th, 1992. This is Dr. Stephen Kellerman interviewing Arkham Asylum patient number 42540, otherwise known as the Joker. Patient has no other known alias.
Don't need an alias when you have a winning smile, eh, Doc?
Very funny. So, Joker, let's talk about what we started to cover in our last session. Tell me more about your childhood pet.
Ah, yes, Chuckles, my goldfish. Ironically, quite a sad tale, I'm afraid. You see, when I was mere 5 years old, I was gifted him by Aunt Susie. She was quite the pompous windbag, but boy, could she make a whoopee cushion sing!
Please, Joker, try to take this seriously.
I'm serious. Dead serious.
Apologies. Please, continue.
As I was saying, Aunt Susie bought me Chuckles. That goldfish and I were best of friends. I took care of him. I fed him, and I practiced my jokes on him. We were best buds. Then one day, he was there, just floating on his back.
And how did that make you feel?
Well, I can't remember, honestly. What I do remember was going to tell my parents and seeing my mother push Aunt Susie down the stairs. How's that for sibling rivalry?
That's horrible. I'm very sorry to hear that.
You're not sorry. Not nearly sorry yet.
What exactly do you mean by that?
I mean that you very trustingly believed everything I've said to you tonight.
Well, we're only human, Joker. I'm merely trying to extend a hand by listening. We all need to feel heard sometimes.
Wrong.
What's wrong?
That we're only human. You may be, but you just like to assume that everyone is like you deep down, Doctor.
Are you saying you're not human?
I know you're in there, Doctor. Come out. What makes you laugh, Stephen?
Here at Gotham Zoo, we have plenty of fun for the entire family. Come and see our tigers, polar bears, penguins, and so much more. With the recent addition of our reptile house, now you can experience even more safari fun. You can pet the iguanas, watch the snakes in their habitats, and feed the crocodiles.
Crocodiles. Crocodiles.
This is Dr. Kirk Langstrom at Arkham Asylum on November 15th, 1992. With the permission of Professor Hugo Strange, I'm here to conduct research with patient number 83357, Waylon Jones, alias Killer Croc. The aim of today's session is to isolate the mutagenic properties within Waylon's blood. I hope to determine if it has any medical application.
What's up, Doc? I don't get many visitors. I think most people find me offsetting.
Well, I find your condition fascinating, Waylon. I'm very grateful for your cooperation.
Doesn't seem like I have much of a choice now, does it?
Right. Regardless, this shouldn't take very long. I merely wish to take a blood sample today.
Your funeral.
There. All done. Now to begin analysis. Mr. Jones, thank you for your contribution to science today.
What exactly is it that you plan on doing with my blood, Doc?
I'm hoping that its mutagenic properties will help to aid with particularly tricky ailments. Cancer, Alzheimer's, even deafness. That's the purpose of my study. You find that amusing?
I find it ironic, Hoss.
And how is that?
I'm sure Professor Strange told you about my natural immunities to most afflictions due to my condition. But did he give you the full story?
There's more to it than that?
I'm hungry, Doc. Always hungry.
Yes, I'm aware of your cannibalistic tendencies. I've been told it's part of your psychosis.
Right. It's because my brain has regressed due to my animalistic appearance. What the professor don't tell you, or anyone else, is that it's my blood, Doc. The hunger, it takes me, and it takes anything it wants.
Am I supposed to believe that? It seems like you just don't want me to take your blood.
Fine, don't believe me. But once you use my blood to make a cure for deafness or whatever, don't come crying to me when things go wrong. I'm a crocodile. I ain't got tears to shed.
Clever. Guards, we're done here.
Like I said, Hoss, your funeral. the crocodiles.
We here at Wayne Tech Bioengineering pride ourselves on being the top provider for medical innovation here in Gotham City. Our focus on scientific advancement and cures for rare diseases and conditions have put us on the map. Our employees care deeply for the people that we are helping. To learn more about Wayne Tech Bioengineering, visit our website at...
Date is December 29th, 1992. This is Dr. Kirk Langstrom at the Wayne Enterprises Bioengineering Division. After extensive research, I believe I finally have the tools I need to develop what I've been after all along. A cure for the deafness that has been beginning to afflict me, and afflicts countless others. My compound incorporates the DNA of vampire bats with the goal of targeting their unique sense of hearing and echolocation. The mutagens within the blood from Arkham patient number 83357 proved to be the definitive factor in this project. I'm very optimistic about the results. Animal test trials begin tomorrow. December 30th, 1992. I have introduced the compound into the system of the host, Dimitri the Deaf Rat. After hours of waiting, still nothing. We'll resume observation tomorrow. December 31st, 1992. Dimitri has markedly improved in his hearing ability. Responds to vocal commands instead of just visual stimuli. It seems that my compound is a success. Unfortunately, Mr. Wayne sees this project as potentially unethical. He has given me a deadline but will not approve human trials. I must attempt to convince him somehow. January 1st, 1993. A new year, a new outlook. I still have not been approved to begin human trials, despite Dimitri's improvement. I will not let this stop me. It seems that I may have no choice but to test my compound on myself. What better trial subject than someone who has already had signs of deafness? We'll document the process beginning tomorrow. January 2nd, 1993. I will now introduce the compound into my system. Today marks the first step towards a better future for Gotham and the world. There. I've informed my wife, Francine, that I will remain within Wayne Tech's Bioengineering Division over the next few days. The facilities here will be more than capable of accommodating me. January 3rd, 1993. I'm elated. My hearing has begun to sharpen. I feel 10 years younger. We'll continue to remain here for self-observation until I'm absolutely sure there are no side effects. January 4th, 1993. Today I prevented a disaster. I heard a sound, a slight buzzing coming from the walls. I alerted security, who contacted the fire department and Gotham Electrical. They said I prevented an electrical fire, though they were confused how I'd heard the buzzing through the wall. I merely shrugged it off as lucky, but I know the real reason. January 5th, 1993. Dimitri has developed a ravenous appetite. He eats twice the amount of food he normally does on a daily basis. I've observed an increase in his metabolism and must make precautions should the same change occur in myself. My hearing continues to grow sharper by the day. I swear I can almost hear people in the hallways from behind the door of my lab. It's almost like hearing their thoughts. January 6th, 1993. I'm not sure how, but Dimitri escaped his cage. It looks as if the lock has been broken. It's a minor inconvenience, but should not affect the project as a whole. I have not experienced any hunger, but I've begun to develop a toothache. Also, is it just me, or is there more hair falling off my head? Probably just my imagination. January 7th, 1993. I awoke to find that my upper and lower canine teeth had fallen out. This is cause for concern, and I'm trying to determine whether or not this is related to the compound in my system. The sound coming from outside my laboratory is almost deafening now. I've had to reinforce the lab with soundproofing materials to relieve the strain on my ears. January 8th, 1993. I'm beginning to experience a deep, intense hunger. I've stocked up on food in preparation for my stay here at Wayne Tech, but I'm worried about it running out sooner than I expected. Still no sign of Dimitri. I swear, my hair seems to be falling out in clumps now. I still remain myself other than these symptoms, and am not unhealthy by medical standards. Will continue to self-observe and document. January 9th, 1993. The food ran out this morning. I heard scuttling and discovered Dimitri behind a shelf. I could hardly restrain myself at holding the creature, alive, wriggling, and delicious. Before I knew what I was doing, I had torn into the poor creature. I found that my canines had been replaced by fangs, resembling those of a vampire bat. I would ask the help of my fellow employees, but I'm worried how they would react. Best to keep myself contained for now until I can get to the bottom of this. January 11th, 1993. My hair is gone. I can feel my ears changing too, almost as if they are elongating. The tiniest sounds register in my hearing, and it's like I can hear my own heartbeat. It's erratic, but I feel normal. Some of my fingernails have fallen out. I'm growing increasingly concerned. Francine, if you hear this, I'm sorry. January 14th, 1993. The sound. The sound is echoing in my ears. My hunger is growing with each day. I've begun to see claws form where my fingernails were, and a membrane is beginning to form under my arms. I can't bring myself to look in the mirror anymore. I don't recognize myself. I worry that one of these days I will no longer be Kirk Langstrom, but instead whatever this creature is.
January 19th, 1993. I see red. I hear God. He tells me that he has forsaken me. I hunger for flesh, for blood. I can fly like the angels now. I can hear heartbeats, and their blood calls out to me. I understand now, Waylon. I can feel the hunger in my blood. I must feed.
Seven people have been found dead throughout the Narrows this past week. The bodies of the victims have been found completely drained of blood and are viciously mangled. Authorities are unsure as to a suspect, but some witnesses have described the murderer as a giant creature resembling a bat. All we have to go on is this video sent in to us from an anonymous source. The police are currently seeking the Batman for questioning. More on this story as it develops. I'm Vicki Vale, and this is Gotham City News.
A new experimental treatment for anger. Arkham Asylum prides itself on the treatment of its patients. This includes dozens of medications, ones widely used in the scientific community, and ones developed by us. With just one dose of our new treatment, a patient will find their erratic, impulsive side dulled. This will help them to function within society, allowing their mind to prevail over their emotions. Side effects may include depression, anxiety, dizziness, an increase in aggression and lack of empathy.
Date is February 22nd, 1993. This is Professor Hugo Strange of Arkham Asylum. I've been asked by District Attorney Harvey Dent to provide him with psychiatric sessions. Mr. Dent, can you confirm that I am recording this with your permission?
Of course. This is Harvey Dent. I have given Professor Strange my permission to record this session.
Thank you, Mr. Dent. Let's get to know each other, shall we? Tell me more about this temper I've been hearing so much about.
Ever since I can remember, I've had a difficult time controlling my temper. I just get so angry sometimes.
I see. What usually triggers this anger?
I can't really say. Whenever someone disrespects me, when someone makes a joke at my expense, it reminds me of my father.
Ah, did your father often ridicule you?
I'd nearly forgotten. Yes, his expectations for me were high. If I didn't meet them, he would let me know it.
Did your father beat you?
What? No, of course not. His abuse towards me was verbal. I hear his voice in the back of my head every time, right before my anger flares up.
Fascinating. It seems to me that his voice follows you still, even in death. Your father passed, did he not?
He did, 5 years ago.
Well, I'm sure we'll cover more of this in future sessions. I have something I wish to prescribe you.
Wait, that's it? Don't these sessions usually take an hour?
In some cases, but yours seems to be a relatively treatable ailment. Further sessions will be necessary, but in the meantime, I will prescribe you a treatment we've been developing at the asylum. It should help you to keep your head clear when your temper flares up.
If it prevents further public incidents, that's all I can ask for. I can't let my anger affect my mayoral campaign.
I'd like to administer some now if you don't mind. I'll provide you with an ample supply to last you until our next sessions.
Of course. Go ahead.
There. Tell me, Mr. Dent, how do you feel? Mr. Dent?
Har's not here, Doc.
Then who am I speaking to?
I don't have a name. Yet.
Remarkable. It seems that the treatment did exactly as expected, and quicker than anticipated. I've successfully separated the good and evil parts of your mind.
Is that right? I think all you've done is set me loose. I've just been waiting for a chance to get out.
Mr. Dent, please put down that letter opener.
That's right, Doc. Beg for your life. For all the good it will.
What's going on?
It seems the treatment worked, Mr. Dent. We will meet again in a week for our next session.
They all think they can laugh at me. Soon, I'll be the one laughing. Life is short. Over with the flip of a coin. Gotcha, bitch!
Hello and welcome to Arkham Asylum. There are many patients here of different shapes and sizes. When interacting with certain patients, you must keep these guidelines in mind. We will now tell you the guidelines for interacting with patient number 061940. Number 1. Don't provoke or antagonize this patient. At Arkham, we strive to foster a positive environment for our patients. Number 2. Do not discuss personal, private topics with this patient. Your personal life is your own, and your safety is important to us. Our patients have somewhat aggressive tendencies. Number 3. Take inventory of the items in this patient's room. There should not be any extra items. Number 4. Even if it appears the cell is empty, or contains a fellow staff member or civilian, do not open the cell. It is paramount that the cell remains sealed at all times to keep this patient contained.
This is Professor Hugo Strange. It is March 13th, 1993. I've taken to documenting my experimentation with a formula developed by Dr. Kirk Langstrom, a recent addition to the patient population of Arkham Asylum. I've deconstructed his formula and repurposed it in order to study its adverse effects. I will be testing it on Basil Carlo, a former actor recently convicted and sentenced to Arkham for murdering his fellow cast members. I will photograph the process and offer my notes. March 14th, 1993. Today I introduced the altered formula into the test subject. No noticeable effect in the first hour, but after 2 hours, the subject began vomiting violently. We'll continue observation. March 15th, 1993. Subject has begun losing hair and has a pale appearance. His skin seems to be drooping, and eyes are bloodshot, almost red. Subject appears to be in excruciating pain. His screams echo throughout the compound, but they blend with the screaming of countless others. We'll continue observation. March 16th, 1993. Subject has begun to seemingly decompose while still alive. Flesh that had previously clung to bone is dropping off, and the subject's skeleton is visible in various places. Subject has ceased screaming. He seems to be incapable of doing so any longer. We'll continue observation. March 17th, 1993. Subject has dissolved entirely. All that remains is a pile of necrotic, odorous flesh and bone. In spite of this, it still moves. Its undulations are fascinating to me, as they give some semblance of still being alive. It is a truly remarkable phenomenon. We'll continue to observe. March 18th, 1993. It's unbelievable. The pile of bone and flesh has begun to take form. It is not fully capable of achieving any semblance of a person, yet it seems to have developed rudimentary facial features, eyes, a mouth. It gathers more strength by the hour. We'll continue observation. March 19th, 1993. It is a historic day. The subject has fully reformed from a necrotic mass into a humanoid form. It is amorphous and shifting, but holding vague shape nonetheless. It also is capable of producing sounds not unlike a voice, though it is unable to truly speak. These developments continue to amaze me. As I look at it through the protective glass, it seems to recognize me. I could have sworn I saw it attempt to mimic my facial features and skin pigmentation. We'll continue to observe. March 20th, 1993. We thought we had misplaced the subject today. It was only through my keen eye that we realized there was an extra chair in the room. As one of my employees approached it, it suddenly shifted back to a humanoid shape and grabbed the staff member. What happened then was what I can only describe as monstrous. Its touch seemed acidic, burning and dissolving my employee. It then absorbed his mass into its own. It seemed to take on a more human form upon doing so, but it is anything but human now. March 21st, 1993. The subject has escaped containment. We are unsure where it is or even who it is posing as. One of my employees arrived early and alleged that they saw myself within the confines of the laboratory. The figure claimed that the subject had escaped and locked him within. Upon opening the door, my doppelganger fled the scene and shifted back to its amorphous form. The test subject may now be anyone, and could even get loose in the city. How unfortunate.
Our doctors here at Arkham hold your best interests in mind during your stay here. Many of our patients find this new environment strange at first, but we assure you, give it time. You'll feel at home before long. It's natural to feel this way at first, but our promise to you is this: you won't be afraid for long.
This is Dr. Jonathan Crane, head of research at Arkham Asylum. The date is April 1st, 1993. April Fools. How fitting. Today's experiment will further my research into fear responses from the patients here. Today's volunteer is Gary. How are you feeling today, Gary?
Much better, Dr. Crane.
That's wonderful to hear. Warden Strange has informed me that your progress has been phenomenal.
Yes, I'm feeling much more like myself lately.
Excellent, excellent. Tell me, Gary, what do you know about fear?
Fear?
Yes, fear. The natural response to danger, harm, and other threats. What has been your personal experience with fear?
I'm not sure I understand the question, Dr. Crane.
That's all right, Gary. Let me educate you. In my experience here at Arkham, fear is power. It ranks higher than you, higher than me, even higher than Warden Strange. Fear doesn't care who you are. It is a driving force of the psyche, of nature even. I can see by your silence that you're still unsure of my meaning. In my experimentation, Gary, I have found that fear is a pathway to places that the mind cannot even comprehend. Another dimension, a place of constant dread and terror. This is what I've been trying to access, and you, my friend, will be instrumental in aiding that today.
What is the mask for?
Oh, you'll see, Gary. All I need you to do right now is sit back and breathe deeply.
No, I don't want to. I'm scared.
Good. That means we're already halfway there. Now, just breathe. You're performing wonderfully, Gary. Back to it. Let the fear take control. What do you see, Gary? Where is the fear taking you? It's all over now.
A doctor at Arkham Asylum for the criminally insane was arrested today for gross misconduct and malpractice. The culprit, Dr. Jonathan Crane, is facing these and numerous other criminal charges following unauthorized experiments conducted on his patients. His most recent victim, Gary Anders, was found hysterical in his cell. When questioned by police about Crane's experiments, all that the police could glean from the man was that Crane had allegedly sent him to hell. Police are still trying to determine whether this is evidence or just the ramblings of a man whose rational thought is devastated. I'm Vicki Vale, and this is Gotham City News.
It's over. Arkham Asylum has been shut down effective immediately. Following the arrest of Jonathan Crane, numerous investigations into Arkham and its staff have deemed the institution dangerous and ineffective. I handed in my resignation today. I shall leave Gotham to strategize and rethink how to continue my research. I may yet return to Gotham, but only time will tell. In the meantime, Dr. Jeremiah Arkham has returned to Gotham from Germany. He will oversee a new facility hosted in his family's ancestral home, Arkham Manor. Maybe he will fare better than I did, but then again, whom but myself is capable of keeping those monsters in line? We shall see if Dr. Arkham is up to the task. This is Hugo Strange, signing off.